Hello, friends. I have a serious subject I'd like to talk to you about today. It's about the health and welfare of your John Deere 1 Series tractor. Now, if you're like me, your tractor is like a member of the family, and you care what happens to it, and you want to do your best to take care of it and make sure that it stays healthy. Now, there is a problem with these little guys. There's a genetic defect that they could possibly have been born with, and I call it pulmonary intake and valve cover fracture syndrome. Now, it's not anything that you did, honestly. I know you've tried to take care of your little Johnny, but you need to keep an eye on him because at any time something bad could happen. And here's what it is. If you have an air intake assembly like this one, where the filter assembly is mounted to the top of the engine's valve cover with this bracket, then friends, your little Johnny could be at risk. It's quite a common occurrence that this rubber strap or this bracket could fail and break. Now, we all know that these little guys were only born with a 3-cylinder Yanmar engine, and it's a dependable and very durable engine, but nobody has ever accused it of being very smooth running. It's just the nature of the beast. 3 cylinders usually are just not as smooth as a 2 or 4-cylinder engine, but these little guys can't help it. That's how they were born. But what happens is, over the course of time, this bracket and strap can fail from the fatigue of all the vibration of everyday use. Now, these brackets normally fail around this bend from all the vibration of it going back and forth. It finally just fails from fatigue. Now, over the years, it looks like the doctors at John Deere beefed up this bracket with a thicker bracket. Unfortunately, when they did that, it had unforeseen consequences. When you have a stronger bracket so it doesn't break, then the stress is more inclined to be put into the valve cover here. And what happens over time is there's enough metal fatigue, it can fracture that valve cover. Also, you need to check to make sure that these nuts here are snug down and they're not loose. Some parents of these little guys have reported that these nuts have loosened up and backed out and caused that bracket to really rattle on that, and then it is more likely for the fracture to occur. If you have a broken bracket, whenever you replace it, or if you did replace it or whatever, you check under that bracket and look for any fracture or stress that might have happened to the valve cover, and you want to get a new valve cover for it before you have a catastrophic failure. Now, there have been documented cases reported on the tractor forums and pictures shown where people have had a catastrophic failure, And when that happens, your poor little Johnny has to go to Tractor General Memorial Hospital and have a transplant, because there have been cases to where the valve cover has fractured, pieces have dropped down into the engine and had a catastrophic failure, had to have the engine replaced. Now, your John Deere dealer may tell you they've never heard of this happening before, they've never run into it, or not, maybe they have. The models that that I've heard usually range from around sometime around 2015 to April-ish of 2018. There's a range of serial numbers there that John Deere has acknowledged in some sort of a service bulletin that that they will replace upon failure, and put you a newer updated assembly in. Now the newer models, the late 2018s and the 2019s, have a different setup now. So I mean, that tells me that John Deere knows there was a problem and decided to do something about it. Now the new air cleaners sit this way instead of this way now. They're shorter, so they can sit between the bottle here and they're mounted to this this wall here. And of course, it's a different air cleaner, so the filter that goes in here will not fit the new assemblies. There's a different hose involved and everything, so it can be and they completely get rid of this bracket here. It's no longer attached to the valve cover. So there is a solution number, which I'll either show on the screen if I can figure out how, or I'll put it in the description below the video. And from what I understand and have been reading is John Deere's stance on it is they will replace it as they fail. So if you call your dealer and tell them, you know, you've got a broken bracket or whatever like that, and you want solution number blah blah blah, and that tells them that they can get John Deere to warranty the retrofitted air assembly. So that's about all I've got on that. If you have any questions about it, or you want to know what the parts list is for the newer setup, if you have an old tractor before say 2015-ish, and it's out of warranty and everything, you know, it may depend on the dealer if he wants to, you know, pay the bill, but I wouldn't hold your breath. Now the parts list, as you add it all up, they say you can get all the parts to make the retrofit for around $150. So if you have an older tractor and it's out of warranty and they don't want to pay, then it's going to cost you about $150 to buy all the pieces and do it yourself. From what I understand, it's not very hard, and there's videos out there that show you how to do it. Now there is a reported case to where a guy had a broken valve cover, and I'll try to show the picture. If I can figure that out, I'll try to show the picture of the broken valve cover that he had, and it ruined his engine, and it was out of warranty. However, he made a claim to John Deere, and as far as I know, according to what he said, they have agreed to replace his engine with a new one because of that. So there you have it. If you have any questions, leave it below, or your best resource to ask about this, aside from your dealer, is greentractortalk.com. If you go to that forum, people who know way more than me will be glad to answer your questions, give you a parts list, and then you can read posts about other people that's had this problem. Now, I haven't had a problem yet. Now, I've been keeping a close eye. I check it frequently. I've already checked to make sure these nuts here stay tight, and I've still got a year left on John Deere's medical insurance on this. So if my little tractor here gets sick, I've still got a year, and they'll pay for fixing it for free. When time's up and it hasn't broken yet, then I'll probably go ahead and spend the $150 and just do the swap myself. Now, from what I understand, if you do get your dealer to upgrade it under warranty, they're going to want to do the work. I don't think they're going to give you the parts and let you go home and do it yourself, because they're going to want to do it so it will stay under their warranty. So, all right, that's all I know. See you next time.